Hey, what's up? This is George Shamoun. In this live presentation, we're gonna go over how to learn Linux and obviously Linux commands. Linux is an operating system, but the main core of it is the Linux commands, and that's what's more important than anything else in Linux. Learning how to use the command line interface and if you have any questions, submit it in a comment. And if you like this kind of content throughout my presentation, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I need your help to grow it. And in return, I will make more videos. I'll answer your questions and I'll make sure you get value out of this content. And on this channel, I talk about Linux commands, making simple HTML, CSS, web pages or codes. And I started recently with JavaScript, but I'm still not good at it. I'm not too advanced in it. Uh, I only know the basics. And I also make videos about Inkscape for vector graphics, GIMP for raster imaging, but I don't have a lot of those. Mostly I have HTML, CSS, and Linux, those two. But I'll be making more, but within those range of topics or something related to them, depending on your request. And if I have the knowledge or I'm able to acquire it soon, fast. So, but this video is specific to how to learn Linux and its command line interface. You can ask me questions and I will answer you. It's all about learning Linux and the command line interface. And even if you already know Linux and you have questions, we can talk about it too. But please make sure do not submit any comments or statements about politics or religion because this is strictly about tech and software and as I said, Linux, HTML, CSS, making web pages, websites. So if you're interested in those topics, let me know. And I'm waiting for your questions about Linux. Hi, Reja. Welcome to the live stream. Let me know if you have any questions about Linux. And we can talk about it, how to start with it, how to learn Linux. Did he do it? Did he equal? Did he? Not really, did he? Okay, guys, if you want to add any comments or any statement, make sure it's meaningful to the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to have to block you and remove it. Do not joke. This is a very serious topic. I'm talking about Linux and its command line interface, how to learn Linux. If you're interested in these topics, let me know, submit your question. I'm here to help you. But do not add any comments about politics, religions, and any jokes or naive comments and offend anybody. Then I'm going to have to block you and remove your statement. So who else? Okay, welcome guys. Welcome to this stream. Let me know if you have any questions and about Linux, how to learn Linux commands. I'm not gonna say I am an expert, but I've been using it for a long time. But so I know the basics, and I can help you if you're starting a new, or even if you are a beginner and you started recently, I can help you too. And I have a course about Linux commands online. If you're interested, let me know. I can add the link later on. But now let's talk about it so I can help you with answering some questions you may have about Linux, like what distribution, what commands, so many, what computer you need, what software, So I have a question. So, okay, so welcome guys. Welcome to this live stream. I want to thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, submit it in a comment. Let's see what kind of question we have now. So I have a question about, okay, guys, if you add a decent comment about Linux, I will read it and I will answer it. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to. So, normal white guy. That's a funny name. Okay, welcome. I have a question about Linux. Yes, go ahead. What's your question about Linux, normal white guy? What's your question? What, Sophie T, what kind of stream is this? This is a live stream, and I'm talking about Linux and how to learn Linux. And if you have any question about the commands, how to use it, let me know. So it's about Linux operating system, and in specific, to be specific, the command line interface, how to use the commands, and what do you need to learn it. Hi, James. Welcome. Hi, Bad Mako. Yeah, Linux. Yes, not Linux. 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 Yes. Bad Mako. What distribution? Okay, the two distribution I recommend if you are new, Ubuntu and Mint. I run Ubuntu 22.04, and Mint is a great one. They're self-intuitive. They have a graphical user interface. If you're switching or coming, you have a background using Windows, it will help a lot. They're easier, you know. Uh, okay, guys, I'm gonna have to block this person. IQF, whatever it is. Let me block this person first, and then we'll be on our way. Put user in timeout. Okay, 24 hours. Okay, so we won't see any comments from this guy or whoever it is. Okay. Uh, Yusuf, welcome, Yusuf. Welcome. Uh, I opened a factory in Lebanon and two in America during the war on Lebanon. My company is always losing money. What should I do? I opened this factory in the year 2000. Yusuf, where are you from? Are you from Lebanon? I'm from Lebanon too. Are you from Lebanon? Or where are you from? And what kind of industry did you open? And why you're not doing good? Let me know what kind of industry. And obviously, you have to have presence online, and you do marketing and social media. Those will help you a lot, you know. Just trying to get famous. Um, Too much off topic. See ya. Okay. Uh, just trying to get. Okay, let's block this person. Fernando. 1 second. Let me just block this person. Because whoever add, you know, naive comments, I'm gonna remove them. Okay, guys, before I continue and answer questions, let me know. First, subscribe to the channel because I need to grow it and I need your help. And in return, I'll make more videos to help you and answer questions about topics I'm familiar with and topics I'm able to learn about. Okay, Yusuf said food oil factory. Okay, that's a good business. I don't know why you're not doing good. I mean, now obviously in Lebanon, the situation is bad and the economy is not good, you know. But you said you opened in the U.S., which is good. Do you have a website? Do you have? You should have a website for sure, you know. Zakari, hey, welcome, Zakari. Real facts, welcome. I think this guy, what says he owns business, is telling the truth because of businessmen would know what to do. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean exactly, real facts. You might want to clarify your what you mean, you know. Who else? Anybody have a question? We have 10 people now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. I need your help in growing it, and you know we can talk about topics I cover on this channel, like Linux, web page making, HTML, CSS, making websites. We can talk about those topics. Okay, so anybody have a question? Let's see. Questions, comments. Fernando Esteban. Where are you from, Fernando, if you want to know where I'm from? I'm from Lebanon originally. So, New Balance. Salamu alaikum from Birmingham. Are you in Alabama? Birmingham, Alabama? May Allah make it easy for Lebanon and our Lebanese brothers and sisters. Thank you, New Balance. I do appreciate that. That's a nice comment. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Yeah. Uh, my factory in South Lebanon. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Sorry to hear. I hope you didn't get hit or something. Yeah, that's bad. Sorry to hear that. I think real facts. Okay. Real facts. Don't be spamming. You're adding the same comment all the time. Please don't spam. Okay. Anybody have a question about Linux commands, how to learn it? So Linux is an operating system, guys, and it's so powerful. It's used by servers, by desktops, and its core kernel. It's used by other systems, and it's an open source. That's why you can customize it. You have access to the code, and what's nice about it, it's a free for home use. I mean, if you want to use it for your business, there is some cost, I think, to the licenses. But for home usage, if you're not using it for business, it's a free, so it's another operating system you can use. Let's say if you have another computer, like let's say most people nowadays, or for the longest time, I mean, they use Windows machines. And if you have another computer, it's worth to run Linux. This way you learn it. And if you want to switch, you can do that. But I don't recommend switching because, you can still, you may need Windows for so many software. Like let's say if you are a Photoshop user or other, let's say, cloud software, online services, you still need Windows. Linux doesn't cut it to everything, but Linux is nice because you can learn a lot of software. Like it comes with a lot of tools for programmers, for networking, and the command line interface is so powerful. You can click and one command and you can find out a lot about your system and if your computer is networked. And I've been using it for the longest time, and I keep learning about Linux and the commands. And what's nice, it's becoming easier. Long time ago, like in the early 90s when Linux was introduced, it didn't have the graphical user interface. It was so difficult to use, but with time they added the graphical user interface. So nowadays, there are so many distributions of Linux, and the people can use it, whether you are in a cybersecurity field, whether you are a network engineer, you can use it. I'm using it. I am in the telecom industry, and I use it for finding IP addresses, and it's got so many tools for network and diagnostic. Whether you can even test your internet connection with one command using Linux. I mean, you can do it with Windows and Mac, but we're talking now about Linux, and the majority and the strength is in Linux lie in the command line interface and how to use the command. So let's see the comments. Okay, Yusuf, my brother works a manager in server IT in Amazon in United Arab Emirates. Oh, not Emirates. Oh, nice. That's good to know. I mean, Amazon is a great company. It's a huge company, Amazon, and that's a great job and great place, United Arab Emirates. So, Yusuf, do you live in Lebanon now, or you are in the U.S.? I'm originally from Lebanon, but not right now. I live in the U.S., so I was just wondering if you are in Lebanon now, or so. Who else? Any questions, comments, topics, suggestions? Let me know if you wanna talk about other topics in technology, but within the limits, within the topics I cover on my channel. Obviously, nobody can cover all topics. So we can talk about web development, making websites, what tools, what resources you use. We can talk about Linux commands, but this video is specific for Linux. I prefer to talk about Linux only now. So By the way, guys, if somebody is interested in Linux, check out my links. I have an online course. It's a self-paced video course for Linux commands. It's very basic. If you're starting new, it will help you, you know. But obviously, it's not for everybody. If you're not interested in learning Linux, it's not going to be for you, you know. Okay, who else? Okay, guys, thank you for joining this live stream, and I will appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel because I need your help in growing it. And in return, I'll be making more videos like these. And the more comments and topics you make, the more ideas I have, because the best ideas come from you, the audience. So, who else? Questions, comments, topics? So. Yusuf, I am from American, but my mom from Lebanon. She go in America 1982 after war. Okay, yeah, Space guy, Space guy, Bob, welcome. Speaking of, I find the Chrome OS community interesting, but often stupid with how backwards everything is and how Google stands stuff. Copy on it, Capium on it. What do you think of Chrome and its relation to Linux? Okay, that's a very good question. I think Chrome, like the Chromebooks you're talking about, and the Chrome OS, it runs on Chromebooks. I think the base is Linux. They run on some kind of Linux, on a Linux kernel. But I never had a Chromebook, but from what I hear, you have to be connected to the cloud. You cannot do anything with it. Everything have to be connected to the cloud. You cannot download. You cannot run your own application. That's what I know about it. You know, I never ran it, but you have to be connected to the internet. You don't need a cloud. Oh, okay. You don't need. But don't you have to be connected to the internet to run programs, or you can run programs without connected to the internet? Because I never used it. You know, so. You need a Google account. Yes. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Google account. Most people have Google account. Yeah. Do you have access to the command line interface on your Chromebook? Because it runs on the top of Linux, I think, you know. The main core of Chromebook is Linux. You should have a command line interface, because also the Mac computers, you know, Mac computers, they have because they run on the top of Linux too, and they have access to the terminal, and you can run Linux commands in Mac, you know. So, but from there, it's up to you to run a Linux container app or a web app or Android apps, and with the developer mode, you can access the developing tools like portage event. Okay, so you have to run some intricate details. I mean, it looks like you're advanced more than myself or most people, because these tricks, you know, not everybody can do those. If you're new to Linux and you want to learn it, it might be a bit difficult to get a Chromebook and run a Linux container. I guess you're talking about the virtual box. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Yeah, you can run a virtual box even on Windows machine. You know, you don't even need a Chromebook nowadays. Like, I think Windows 10 and the operating system versions afterwards, they already have Linux ready to be installed. So if you have Windows 10 now, you go to the Windows Store and you're able to, I think you can install Ubuntu. So even you can run, and also you can run a virtual box on the top of your machine or Windows, you know. So that's, I guess, that's a similar along the same lines. Yeah, thank you for the information. That's very valuable information, Space Guy Bob. Safest option is Crostina, which is officially supported. The Chromex is even supported officially by Flatpak from it. Okay, so the container uses Debian. Okay, okay, I see. Yeah. I live in Lebanon in 2022 to 2023. Economical inflation, electricity always goes out. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Yeah. When I speak English, people impersonate me. Oh, okay. And there was only one factory in Saidon that made cooking oil. Okay, sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not easy living in Lebanon if you were living here before. I see what you're saying. Srikant Nayak, hi, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining. How can I help you? Submit your questions if you have any questions about Linux and how to use Linux commands, how to get started. Or if you use Linux already, you can provide the facts, topics, comments to help us too. I mean, we can, everybody can learn from everybody. So you might be adding comments that I'm not familiar with. I can learn from you too. And, but I've been using Linux for a long time. I don't use it for programming or advanced topics. I just use the command line, and I'm familiar with making small scripts, not programmable scripts like the loops and the if and this. Because I'm learning JavaScript now. I like it. It's difficult in the beginning, but now I start to like it. I'm gonna take my time, understand it. It's not an easy topic, but I like it. So. I live in Lebanon. Okay, yeah, yeah. I read that. Have you lived in Lebanon or not? Yes, I lived in Lebanon. Yeah, a few times. I mean, certain period of times. So yeah, I like Lebanon. It's a great place. But now the war, it's difficult to be there. From what you see on the news. But Lebanon is nice. Whenever it's peaceful, it's a very nice place to live. But you have to have a good job to make some a living. Because not everybody can make decent money, and things are expensive in Lebanon. So yeah, who else? Questions, comments. Guys, share your comments and skills or knowledge or lack of knowledge about Linux, or if you're interested to learn it, let me know what's so. In Beirut or other city? No, in other cities. I am originally from Zahli. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Zahli. It's in central Lebanon in the Bekaa. It's about 40 kilometers from Beirut. So, but whenever we travel back and forth, you have to go through Beirut, the airport. So it's. Let me, guys, where are you tuning in from? Let me know. It's very interested to know. I'm coming to you live from the U.S. state of South Dakota. I am in the Midwest of the U.S. now. This is where I live. And if you're interested to share your location, where you tuning in from? Are you in the U.S.? What state are you tuning in from? Are you overseas? What country are you tuning in from? I'm very interested to know if you like to share this information. So if not, again, we're talking about Linux commands and how to use Linux, how to get access to the command line interface, what resources you need, what computer, etc. Zuchi, welcome. I'm gonna send you a number that you gonna recognize too. I'm not sure what you mean by that too. I mean, everybody recognize number two. What do you mean by that? First, welcome to the live stream. Number two. Maybe you meant 2 subscribers, because I just saw 2 subscribers added to my channel. Maybe that's what you meant, Zuchi. Maybe 2 subscribers I got. So, do you have any question about Linux? Do you use Linux? Are you familiar with it, or you're interested to learn it? So, guys, what field are you in? If you want to share, what industry do you work in, or if you're a student, if you go to college, if you're working now, what kind of business are you in? Just share your topics. I am in a telecom industry. I am in the telecom industry. So, who else? Anybody else have a question, comments, topics about Linux, Linux commands? Jason, welcome. Thank you for joining the live stream. Yes, Jason, I am a back end developer. Welcome, Jason. Maybe we get a lot of nice information and benefits from you. So, what language do you use? Do you use Python, C Sharp, PHP? What do you use? Because Jason, yeah, that's not. I don't know any back end languages, but I'm in a front end now. I'm learning. I'm in a HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript. I mean, I'm comfortable with HTML5, CSS3, but I am learning JavaScript now, and I don't think I have the basics yet. To make simple programs. Once I nailed down the basics of JavaScript, I'm gonna learn some back-end language, and a lot of people recommended PHP scripting language, PHP, and even JavaScript, Node.js. I can use it with Node.js, once I learn it. So, Yusuf, yes, Zahli, pride of the Beka. Yes, Zahli is nice, yes. MCC, hello. Welcome back. I think you were here before, right, MCC? Hello, don't know if you remember. Yes, I remember you. Yes, yes, it's me, MCC, from a few months ago. Sorry, I've been not in your live stream. That's no problem. We understand. Lost a friend of mine. His name is Patrick Morgan. He died in a car crash. He was 18. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that about your friend. I'm very sorry. We'll keep him in our prayer, and I hope he rests in peace. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining again, MCC. Yes, I remember you. Jason, PHP with Symfony, and I use Ubuntu. Okay, perfect. Yes, yeah, yeah. Yeah, somebody recommended me to learn PHP, but it's too early for me now. I want to be comfortable with the JavaScript before, then I'll jump to PHP. And I think Symfony is a platform or a library. I think it's what do you call it? Not library. Framework. It's a framework, and I use Ubuntu. Yes, Ubuntu is great. I use it. I run. Okay, framework. Yes, yeah. Let me ask you, Jason. Is PHP difficult to learn? Because they say it's prevalent like all over the internet, and the WordPress runs on PHP and the Drupal and Lara content management system. So yeah. Who else? Any questions about using Linux and what do you use it for? So if Jason uses Ubuntu, it means, like I said, it's great for web development too and programming. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the prayer family. Definitely need to right now. Yes, yes, I know it's not your expertise, but do you recommend to deal with grief with a situation like that? Oh, okay, sure, yeah. We all go through grief, and we all lose, relatives, friends, close ones. You have to pray, you have to be patient, and sometimes counseling will help with the priest, or counselors. They will help you go through it, and only time will, make it easier on you. It doesn't erase the pain. You keep remembering people forever, all your life, but time will make it easier to deal with when time progresses. But in the beginning it's very difficult, I understand. So Jason, no, I don't think it's hard. I think JavaScript is actually hard. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Yeah, yeah. So prayers, yes, prayers, yeah. Yusuf now in CNN. Oh, you work in CNN? Who else? Who else is on this live stream and has any questions, or if you want to make a comment that's related to Linux and Linux commands and what do you use it for? I mean, we don't have to be talking specifically about Linux commands only. We can talk why you use Linux, what's the benefits of using Linux, the Linux commands, what tools you can use it for. Because, when you propose a resource to somebody to use it, they can ask you, why should I use it? So, we have to explain. So, yeah, Linux is good, is great. So, I mean, you can even use, it comes with a lot of development tools. Like you can use Python with a lot of people now are interested in learning Python. You can use Python in Linux, and I think it comes bundled with it, but you can upgrade if you want to Python 3.8 or something. They keep upgrading it. And last time I tried it, I looked at a Python book. I wanted to learn a bit about it because everybody talks about Python and how important it is, how prevalent. I looked at it. It's got a lot of similarities. I mean, different format, but a lot of similarities like JavaScript. So I said, I'm not going to mess with it now. Let me deal with the JavaScript. Once I'm done with it, I'll move to another topic. So yeah, I mean, you can access the Python interpreter in Linux from the command line, and you can run commands right away without even writing a Python script. And also, I use Visual Studio Code for code editing. It's great. You can use a lot of programming languages and coding languages. I use the HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, and I think I used Python recently. And it's got a terminal command embedded with it, Visual Studio Code. That's a great code editing software. rm-rf / yes, rm remove -rf. Yeah, that's a modifier. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but Yuri Kraster, welcome. Yeah, Yuri, we're talking about Linux. We're not talking about other topics now. Who else? Anybody else? Guys, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the channel. I need your help to grow it, and in return, we keep making keep making videos like these, and I can help you answer your questions about topics I'm familiar with. If I'm not familiar with topics, I'm not going to be able to talk about it. But so who else? Anybody else? Comments, topics. Oh, Yusuf is asking, sorry, I missed the question there. How much Linux experience do you have? Okay, I've been using Linux for since the early 90s, like for the last 20 years or more, on and off, not daily, but recently I've been using it daily. And I want to tell you one thing about Linux and even if you get into other topics, skills like programming, and do not try to remember things. Try to know how to learn them, how to access the tools, and where to look for information. And because you can forget information in no time. I mean, I learned a lot of commands in Linux, and I forgot how to use them, but I know where to look for them and what resources to search to find the commands I'm looking for. I can give you an example now. Uh, I couldn't remember how to use and also Linux and the command lines, they keep improving and adding tools to it. Like 20 years ago, the tools for finding an IP address is totally different from the tools now. Now, I mean, the last couple of weeks I've been working and finding there are so many commands for IP addresses like I never knew before. But what I did, I start searching the internet, searching the system for tools, the manual pages, and I was able to find a lot. And yesterday I found out about a command for finding details about an IP address. It's SIP calc, one word, SIP calc, CACL, and then you put it's condensed, the abbreviation of slice IP address or something. And once you put the IP address after it, it will list an output all the details about that IP address, but you have to give it like dash 29, dash 28, you know. It will give you the network address, the how many hosts are available for that IP address, and what are the usable hosts, and it's give you so many details. I've been looking for it for a long time, and this is a very simple tool in Linux. It's only a command, you know. So basically, I use, back to your question, how much experience I have. I have the basics. You can ask me anything now, unless I don't know like system programmings, like, but I know the basics, how to use the file commands, the networking commands, how to search the system, the file commands, the directory commands, and other. And you know, I have a course online if you want to check it out to see what I know, because everything I know, or part of it, like big portion of what I know, I distilled in a course online, and I have the links in the description somewhere on my channel. You know, I can add it in the link here. So this Linux online course, I made it, I created it, and that's what I learned. You know, so if you go through it and read the description page and what the chapter, what you know, what they entail, you will know my experience. So basically, I put everything in that course. And if you guys are interested, I can add the link in the description. It's a course, one-time fee for $49, and it's a self-paced video course, but I will help you if you need me. Like now, I can get on live stream with you and help you, you know, one-on-one, or like this one, I can answer question if you want. I don't leave people stranded if you buy my course, you know. But again, it's not the only course. There are so many resources online you can learn. But I made my course in a way it's good for beginners, or people who are using Linux and they want a refresher. It helps a lot, you know. So MCC, thank you for that advice. You are right, that will be better with time. I think what the hardest part is that you'll never be able to see him again. Yes, yeah, that's part of life. It's very difficult, yes, but that's part of life, you know, that we have to digest and we have to accept. Yes, that's the hardest part, yeah. MCC, I am going to take a few days off, and once I am back, I will get in contact with you about making a website and getting back to working. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that will be great, MCC. Yes, you can reach out to me. You have my contact. You know, I'm not sure if you're the one who sent me a message one time to my email. So you should have my contact. Once you get on my website, you know, I can answer questions. Yeah, thank you for joining. Who else? Anybody else on this live stream? How can I help you? We're talking about Linux and Linux commands, how to learn it, how to start with it. And on this channel, I cover topics about software I use myself, like Linux commands. I use Visual Studio Code to make simple web pages, HTML, CSS, and started now with JavaScript. I set up simple websites, but now we're talking about Linux, you know. So, and also most of the software I have, topics I talk about are for free. So if you have Linux, you have free access to those software, and a lot of those software, they run on Windows and Mac, like Inkscape for making vector graphics. It runs on Windows, Linux, and Mac. Yes, that was me. I will email you soon. Okay, yes, take your time, and I hope you feel better with time, you know. So, Viney Jangid. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to read your names. If I hope I don't butcher the name. Sorry about that. Welcome to the live stream, and thanks for your question. How to build or download it? Okay, download what? Linux? Should I make it on Windows computer? What's your mail ID, sir? Okay, if you go to You can say I have a contact form on my website, georgekcwebservices.com. You can see it on a channel, georgekcwebservices.com, and and my email is in the about page. It should be in the about page of my channel. You can email me there, you know. So and you can I can answer your question and you can. So let me answer you now how to build or download it. Okay, so if you can run Linux on Windows. You have to use a hypervisor, like, and then run a virtual box on it. They call it, you know. And there are so many ways. You can Google it, you know, because there are so many ways you can install Linux. I prefer you can install the Linux operating system from a CD or like a USB thumbnail, you know, USB drive. You can install it alongside Windows, but I don't recommend it to install it on your hard disk. I recommend to run a virtual machine. That's a virtual box that runs on the top of Windows. This way, if you don't like Linux and you want to remove it, you can remove it without affecting the Windows operating system. If you want to download it, you can download, if you have a Windows machine, you can download it on a USB drive, but there's a way to run it. And I hate to tell people run it on your Windows 2 alongside, because once you install it, it's a pain to remove it from your machine. Unless you try it on the virtual box that runs on the top, like you use a hypervisor. And I forgot exactly how to do it, but I can find out for you. But it's on the internet. Just type how to run a virtual box on a Windows machine. That's all what you have to type in, and there's a lot of information there, you know. So, okay. So the privacy is still maintained during running it with Windows. I'm not sure what you mean by your question. So the privacy is still maintained running it with Windows. It's an operating system that will run on your machine, but separate from Windows. It is either runs you can either run Linux or Windows on your machine, even though Linux as a virtual box can run on the top of your Windows, but it's a virtual machine. So once you're running, you know, Linux, you're running Linux. So got it. Okay, Dread, D-R-E-D-D. Welcome to the live stream. Where are you from, Habibi? I'm from Lebanon originally, but right now I am in the U.S. I am coming to you live from the U.S. state of South Dakota. That's where I live now. I'm not sure where you guys are coming from, where you live in now. So are you in the U.S. or overseas? I'm not sure where, you know. Genia Jangig. I mean, is the data and information separate from Windows while running or opening pages on it? Uh, you know, that's a complex question. I'm not going to be able to answer it. What information is a spare? I mean, uh, I'm gonna assume they're separate, but I'm not sure 100% because that's not an easy question to answer. You know, to be honest with you, that's a difficult question because if you're running Linux VirtualBox on the top of Windows, there must be some information that are shared between both. You can, because you're using the hardware of Windows, your Windows machine, because you're using the VirtualBox, you're running Linux, but you're not running Linux with its own hardware. You're running it using the hardware of your Windows machine. So there must be some data shared, like at least the operating system, the hardware, the systems, you know. Hello from Israel. Welcome, Dread. Welcome from Israel. Vinay Jan Gig. Yeah, actually, and the data is stored on Windows, which is, but if you're storing like data by programs, let's say you have a Word program, Office program, and you have data, it's not going to be shared because you need another program to open and save. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you have an Excel spreadsheet on your Windows machine. If you're running Linux VirtualBox on the top of your Windows, it's not going to be able to access your Excel spreadsheet from the window. That's separate. You know that. I don't know if I answered your question, but that's separate. You know. I sell pages. That's funny. Okay. Okay, let's not talk about this because it's a very sensitive issue now. Okay, so, okay, sir. I will be in contact with you. Yeah, that's fine. You can contact me. You should have my email in the about page. And I have a website, George KC Web Services. I have the link somewhere in my on my YouTube channel, and I can add it here. But once I add it here, it's getting lost after we finish the live stream. I have no idea why, you know. Thank you for your help and guidance. You're welcome anytime, Vina. Yeah, you're welcome. Uh, Yes. Yeah, yeah, you can call me anytime. You can contact me and I will try my best to help you. How did they make that work crazy? You know, yeah, yeah, that's messed up, you know. I hope a peace will prevail in the whole area, you know, because it's messed up for everybody, you know. So hopefully everything will be fine at one point. You know, I hate to see lives lost in in all places, you know. So nobody deserves to die or to be injured, you know. Okay, where are you from? Sina Mistam, welcome to the live stream. You wanna know where are you from? Originally, I'm from Lebanon. I speak Arabic, but right now I live in the US and I'm coming to you live from the US state of South Dakota. Where are you from, Sina? Next will be the TV remotes. Hopefully not. So, okay, sir, what's your major? Okay, my major is engineering, and the field of you know I work in a telecom field. You know, I am in a telecom field, so I am a telecom engineer. Sina Miss Nistam from Iran, welcome. Thank you for joining from Iran. Thank you for joining. How can I help you? If you have any question about using Linux, let me know, and I will try my best to help you, Sina. Sina Nistam. Okay. Geek Code. Yeah, welcome. Thank you. Yeah, I guess I answered your question. What's your major? Yeah. Uh, yeah. Dread. I mean, I do appreciate that you joined the live stream, but I prefer not to keep you know sharing those comments about the issues and the war and this. You know, I prefer that we can talk about Linux, and this is the topic of our program. You know, I hope you understand me. Uh, Didi Oga Turbo Bosnia here. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Didi Oga Turbo. Thank you. Jay Thompson. You're the. I don't know what you mean by that, you know. Dread, it's IT related. Yeah, I mean, look, you're smart. I know you're smart, but let's not make the. Let's remove this person here, this guy with the things here. So, yeah, guys, any questions, comments, let me know. All right. Who else? Guys, make sure you subscribe if you're enjoying this kind of topics and the conversation. And if you like the way I present, you know, I don't know, maybe you don't like me, maybe you like the information, I have no idea. But please make sure you subscribe because I'll be making more videos like these. I've been making them for a while now, and I'm gonna make more. And I wanna help you with topics. I understand myself. I can't help with everything, but you know, ahead of time before I make the video, I add the title, and you know, I dread you put the not, but there's a hope. Yeah, there's a hope for peace. Yes. Okay. uh Geek Code. Am I software engineering in my fourth year and don't know what should I do next after graduation? Any advice? Uh, am I software engineering? Uh, so I'm not sure. Welcome to the live stream. Geek Code. I'm not sure exactly what do you learn in software engineering. Do you learn about the hardware and the software? How do you design software? How do you design hard? I'm not sure exactly, but you have. This is a great field. Anything related to software engineering, web development, programming, all of those are great nowadays because everything runs on computers, on networks, on apps, on phones. So anything you do with software engineering, you'll be great, you know. So yeah, I cannot guide you. I don't have specific advice because I am in a telecom industry. You know, I do something different, and I learn on a side how to do web pages and use softwares to expand my knowledge and you know because. So just software. Oh, that's a great field nowadays. I mean, the software field is, you know, is prevalent. It's wide. You have a lot of options. You know. I am happy. I can make you laugh. That's the way to. Yes. Yeah. 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 No. I do. I do appreciate smart people and smart comments, and but you know what I'm saying. Like, you know, we don't want to offend the people in any place. You know. So, but thank you for joining and thanks for your time. I do appreciate the time you spend here. I mean, everybody can have things more important than listening to me rambling all over the places, you know. But thank you. I'm enjoying that too, you know. Just software, yes. Have a nice night. Same to you. Thank you, Dred. Thank you for joining. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so we can continue the conversation with time. You know, make sure you subscribe. And thank you for your time and for have a good night. Same to you. Thank you. Who else? Anybody else? Anybody else have a questions about Linux? How to use Linux commands? How to access the Linux terminal, what kind of resources should you have, what kind of computers, what kind of operating system you can be running, how to run it alongside or separate from Windows, from Mac. You know, I can answer those questions. I mean, I'll try my best. So, who else? Questions, comments? Yeah, if you're into the web development field and software engineering, Linux is a great operating system to use because it's got so many tools for programmers, whether you're doing website building, web development, or software engineering, making designing software. It's got all kind of tools, you know, and it's got so many tools for programming languages like PHP, Python, you know, and you can run Visual Studio Code, which is a Microsoft product, but you can run it on Linux and Mac too, you know. So, anybody else? Questions, comments? How it could be useful? You mean Linux? How it could be useful? Okay, so I can give you an example about the Linux commands. If somebody is in the cybersecurity field, they have to learn Linux. Linux commands is a part of it. Let's say you're in the cybersecurity field. If you're in the software field and the web development field, uh, using the command line interface is essential. If you're in the telecom field like myself, you use the command line interface. Basically, the command line interface is a way to interact with your system using a text-based terminal and using commands. You're not going through the graphical user interface. And that will eliminate a layer of the graphical user interface, because there are more topics when you access the command line interface. I can give you another example. People who run servers, Linux servers, and even Windows servers, they have to know the command line. You have to use the command line. If you are an administrator, whether your environment is Windows or Linux or Mac, you still have to have access to the command line interface to run certain commands like network diagnostic, programming. If you want to make a program, if you have to build a script, you need to know the command line interface. So I mean, you can do a lot with the GUIs, but I can give you another example now. Let's say uh, you want to know what's your internet speed, right? Let's say your internet service provider said your internet speed is, let's say, you have two speeds like for the internet. You have the upload speed, the download. Your internet service provider will give you those. But in Linux, there is a command, and this command will run in Windows and Mac. So I want you to know that Linux commands, some of them run on different systems. Like, it's not only running on Linux and it doesn't run anywhere else. Like, let's say the ping command. The ping command, if you want to ping a website, a server, a network computer, or an IP address, you can run the ping command whether you have a Linux machine, Windows, or any machines. It can run ping. But Linux has more tools in a command line because the way it was built strictly for command line interface. So yeah. So back to the internet speed. If you want to find out your internet speed, you can get on the internet. There's a website. It's called SpeedNet or Speed Test, I think. You can run. You can hit run or something, and it will give you. You get like an interface with a gauge. It will give you the upload and download speed. You can do the same thing in a command in Linux from the command line. It's called the speed test. That's all what you have to do. You type speed test and you hit enter, and the system, you're connected on the internet, obviously, the system will get you your download and upload speed in a few seconds. It does the measurement. But if you want to do it not from the command line, you want to go to the interface, to the graphical user interface, or the uh, or the internet. You cannot do so many steps. But in Windows, you can just in a terminal window, you can just type one command. So I hope that cleared up some, and there are a lot of benefits. You can read about it on the internet. There are so many benefits for Linux. I mean, it's great enough that it's for free. It's for free for home use. For commercial use, you pay for it. So yes. Welcome, Juan Pablo Franco Lozado. Welcome. Wesley Mayo, welcome. Hello, my handsome friend. Welcome. Thank you. Ingy William, have a nice night. Nice night. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you subscribe and to the channel so we can talk more in the future. And I'll be making more videos like these. And you're welcome, Geek Code. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I like to help people if I can, if I know the information. So, but make sure you subscribe so every time you get a notification if I make another video or live stream like this one. So, what else? Anybody have a question about using Linux commands or Linux? Anyone else? I already subs. Thank you very much for subbing. I do appreciate that, Geek Code. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, guys, I do appreciate it if you subscribe. Every subscriber means a lot to me. It makes a big difference in my channel. I do appreciate that. And if you have not subscribed already, and if you like this kind of contact and you like the way I present and I answer, join. I'm not gonna force everybody to subscribe because you may not like what I'm talking about. You may not like my channel or my presentation. So, anybody else? Questions, comments? So, guys, make sure you let me know what kind of topics you're interested in after you look at my channel and you see what topics I cover, what videos. Let me know so I can make more. Because if you ask me questions and you let me know what topics you're interested in, I can go learn about it if I don't know it, and I can share information with you and I can help you. I mean, not obviously, I cannot learn any topics you talk about or you ask me for. But if you look on my channel, you can see the narratives and what I talk about, what topics I cover on my channel. So, who else? Anybody else? Anybody else have a question about Linux, how to use Linux commands, how to get access to it? Why should you use it and when to use it? Gotta get a sip of drink. Anybody else? Comment, questions, answers, topics? Anybody is familiar with Linux? Anybody is interested in Linux? Let me know, and I can help you. I can answer your questions. So Linux is an operating system that it can be used in so many industries and at many levels. It can be used for network, for servers. It can be used for desktops at home, and the Linux kernel is used in different fields. It can be Linux can be customized and it's used in so many fields. Like you can use it in embedded systems. You can use it in computers, networks, in industries, in machineries. So. Anybody else have a question or comments or topics you like to share? Anyone else? Anyone else is interested in knowing how to learn Linux or how to use Linux commands? Let me know, and I'll be very happy to help you and give you some information here. Yeah, again, my name is George Shamoun, and I am coming to you live from the U.S. state of South Dakota. It's in the Midwest of the U.S. It's 10 o'clock in the evening now, Central Standard Time. It's September, I think 29th. Let me see, 29th or 28th. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, September 29th, 2024. If you're joining us on this live stream, I want to thank you so much. I value your time, and thank you for joining. Whether you join for 1 minute or more on this live stream, I want to thank you so much, and I want to do my best to help you. Do you have Instagram or any social media to follow? Yes, I have Instagram, and I have Facebook, a Facebook group. And do you want me to add them in a? I can add them. You subscribed, right? I can add them later on if you. I don't know where to add them on the channel here. Uh, so, oh, you know what? Maybe I can get the links and share them here. but yeah, let me. I can give you my usernames, I guess, on Instagram and let's see, and Facebook. Let me see. Okay, so Instagram, Insta, Instagram. So okay, so my Instagram is George K Shamoon, George K Shamoon, and it's this one here. Uh, Let me see. I will write. I will type it in a box here. Let me see. And then I can give you my. There's a Facebook group I have for Linux commands for beginners. If you're interested to join, let me see the. Let me see. Okay, so this is my Instagram. Copy. I add it here. This is my Instagram. And this is my Facebook. I have a Facebook group and Facebook personal page too. This is my personal page here. Let me see. Oh, so this is my Facebook, and the Facebook. I have a Facebook group about Linux commands for beginners. It's got about 7,000 people. You can join it if you like. You know, if you're interested to ask questions about Linux, but you can ask me here too. You know, so let me see. Yeah, it's right here. So this is this group have about 7,000. Members in this group. It's about Linux commands. It's right here in Facebook. I added it here. And you know what? Let me, while we're here, let me give you my Linux commands course right here. So I mean, I think you already have my website. This is my website here. Let me see. It's my website, and if you go to online courses, there's the link to the Linux course I have here. Check it out if you want. So okay, let's see if somebody have a question in the. I think somebody was asking a question. Mr. AL Coder, thank you for joining. Let's see, there's a question. I have a question. I have installed Ubuntu as a dual boot with Windows, but the problem is when I boot in the Ubuntu, sometime it will stuck in a lock screen after entering the password. How to fix it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just talking to somebody earlier about not to do that, not to install Linux with on a Windows machine and use the same hard disk. Uh, you should have. It's a better idea to run it as a virtual machine, not on a hardware as a dual boot. Yeah. Uh, so when you restart, do you have access to the Windows and Linux? It should give you access in the when you boot the when you load it, the boot loader. It will give you. It should give you options for Windows and Linux, correct? So you choose one of them. Are you able to go back to Windows or which one is giving you issues? So I don't do boot with Windows, but when I boot, oh, okay, when you boot to into Ubuntu, okay, okay, I see what. Sometime it will be stuck in a lock screen after entering the password. How to fix it? Maybe the system is thinking you gotta give it some time because it's working more when you have two operating system. It's gonna do more work and it needs more time to look in the system to see. Did you ever wait enough to give it time to see what is it doing, Mister? Only Coda, only Ubuntu. Okay, so you can. load the Windows without any problems, I guess, on your dual machine. Only Ubuntu will give you the issues. And when it gives you the issues, it stuck forever. You cannot do anything. You cannot access it anymore. Or it takes long and then you get into Ubuntu. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I would say uh, look on the. I never had this issue before. The issue I had one time is I ran like dual boot Linux with Windows on the same machine, like what you're doing. And what happened? I had a problem to remove it. I wasn't able to remove it. You know, it didn't. I had a lot of issues with it then, but I was able to access both without any problems. I'm not sure where you're having this issue. I would, if it's a problem that is persisting, I would reinstall Ubuntu. You know, reinstall Ubuntu, and once you get the options, just install it in the existing Ubuntu portion. You know what I'm saying? If I restarted by pressing the power button, it will be normal. Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, do that then. You know, I mean, there's a solution. You know, I don't. I mean, now you have them. I'm not gonna say I don't recommend. Because you already have them on both on the same hard disk. But that's an issue whenever you run two operating system on the same one because you know because it depends on the hardware you have. You know, some issues happens. You know, and yeah, but in the future, if you want to change the setting, make sure you run them separate. You can run Linux as a virtual machine on the top of Windows, but without using the same hard disk. You know, you can run it as on the top of a hypervisor. You know, so this way you don't have to use the hard disk. So, anybody else have a questions? You're welcome, Mr. AI code. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. So, yeah. Anybody else have a questions, comments, topics you want to discuss, you want to talk about? Let me know. Ashutoshi Wani, thank you for joining. Welcome to the live stream. Let's see your question. I also have a problem with my Ubuntu. The time is not displayed correctly. I used time date CTL, but it did not work. Uh, the time. Did you try? I would use the. You have Ubuntu. You have the graphical user interface. Try to do it from the setting to see if it works. Sometimes the commands are so complex to the point. I don't know. It's not that. You know, I wouldn't use the command unless you cannot use it in a graphical user interface. Then I can run it. You know, but for like something simple like the time, if you want to set it, you can do the what do you call it, the setting. I can show you right now. I am sitting at the Ubuntu machine now, Ubuntu 22. So if you look at the let me show you. Okay, so I'm gonna flip my screen to show you the setting, what I'm talking about. So this is the machine here. This is Ubuntu, right? And if you go here to the top, and if you go down to setting, this one, you see it, setting, you click on a setting, and you kind of get this. You can do a lot of adjustment here in the setting, and I'm sure the time is here too. Uh, Let me see. Okay, it's right here. If you go down all the way, it says date and time. Try to fix it from here. You know what I'm saying? It's try to fix this. If it doesn't work, then there must be some problem with the BIOS or the hardware, I think, you know. So, Blue Games, welcome. Anta Arabi? Yes, I am Arabi. Yes, I am Lebanese. I speak Arabic and I understand Arabic. Uh, I did try it, but it resets after restart. Oh, okay. So I think it might be a problem with the software. If it's resetting every time you start, check the BIOS when you start. Maybe you can fix it from the BIOS. When you start your computer and you access the BIOS setting, maybe you might be able to. I don't know if the clock is there, but try it. Once you start, access the BIOS and fix it there. If it doesn't get fixed, it might be a hardware problem. I think I'm not sure 100% because once you fix the clock and the date, I don't think they should be changing when you restart. When you know what I'm saying. It should not. I will try that. Okay, sure. Yeah, yeah. Try the BIOS thing. If the BIOS doesn't work, then it's another issue with the hardware. So, Marcelo Acosta, thank you for joining. And we have a reply from Marcelo. Maybe the motherboard battery, CMOS battery. That's a good diagnostic. Yeah. So, Ashtusho, I hope you saw the answer. BIOS battery cold low or cold too. So. Oh, it works fine on window. Oh, okay. So that's not the hardware then. It's not the hardware. If it's the same computer, if it's the same computer, it's working for Windows. Why it's not working for Ubuntu? This is the question. You might want to do a Google search because on Google you can find all kind of anything, any problems you can be able to find when you search on the internet. Like it doesn't matter how much we're experienced and we know, you always have to go back to the internet to do a search because somebody else had the same problem or fixed it. They'll give you you can find it. So. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining this live stream. If you like this kind of content and discussion, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it because I need to grow it. And during the process, I'll be making more videos like these to help you answer questions about topics I'm familiar with. And so, Wani, it works fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, anybody else have a question or a comments or topics you want me to talk about in the future, topics related to my videos on the channels, what I talk about. I talk about Linux commands, about HTML CSS codes, and using Visual Studio Code. It's a code editor. I talk about Inkscape for vector graphics, making vector graphics. So these are tools anybody can use. You don't have to be an expert in specific topic. What I use are for end users, and anybody can learn them. You don't have to be an expert. You can be a new. You can be a beginner, and it's nice to know these skills to expand your knowledge in the technology. Linux is a great system. Linux commands, you learn a lot with Linux commands. It's got so many tools for every industry, for every job you do, and making a web page, setting up a website, learning about web hosting, about domain names. It's very interesting too and useful. So anybody else, any questions, any topics you want me to talk about? Anybody else have a question? I'm waiting for your questions and your comment. I hope they're Marcelo, it seems you know a lot about HTML. You should make videos related to how to install servers like Apache, Nginx. Okay, yeah, that's a good. These are good topics. I never done that, but I can I can try to look into it. You know, Apache. You know, we're talking about it's available on Linux. Yes, yeah, yeah. So Marcelo, Kevin, it might not be very young, but it sounds like a foot. Okay, so that's anybody else questions, comments, topics. What other topics, guys, you prefer me to talk about in the future? Yeah, maybe I should look into Apache and Nginx to see if I can do those. You know. Anybody else have a question about using Linux commands or how to run Linux, how to use it, how to start, what commands you're interested to know about? I am sitting here in front of my Linux Ubuntu machine. I can run any topics you want me to, any SED said. Okay, said, welcome Finn to the live stream. Said, to be honest with you, I think it's a text filtering or editing. Said and oak, they're both go along the same line. I know what they are, what they used for, but I don't use them because and I never learned them. I never learned them because there are so many advanced and easier tools to use for filtering text and output like Python. Python is much better, even though I haven't been getting into Python, but that's what they say. You know, Python is much better and easier to use than the Oak and the SED said, you know, about the. Yeah, I never got into those, to be honest with you. I never got into those, you know. They're not easy, they're difficult, you know, so. Can Akusho wanna? Can you make a tutorial series on Linux command? I already have one. I already have a lot of Linux videos since long time ago, you know. But I can make more if you have anything specific about specific command that I never run. I can show you now how many I have, you know. Let me see. If you go to my channel, let me see. Uh, Let me see. Okay, so if you go to videos, I think I have them under playlists. So if you go down, yeah, I have a lot. I have, let me see that if I have them under a playlist, it will be easier then, you know. So uh, I got two for JavaScript, website making, editing. Yeah, let me see the Linux. Yeah, I know I have. Yeah, okay. So this is Linux commands here. View. Okay, so this one here. I know I have more, but this is like 4 videos. I can share them with you. Let me see. Share. Copy. Okay, this is the. I'm gonna add it in the. Uh, so I can. Yeah, let me add the link here for the playlist. This is a playlist for Linux, but I have more. Look on my channel, you'll find more Linux videos. I have a lot of Linux videos on my channel. Okay, let's go back to a question, Finn. So I can use Python in a Bash script. Okay, so that's a good question. Finn, when you say Bash script, it's strictly a Linux script. Bash is Linux shell, you know, you can use it in Linux. Python is different. The Python script are .py. When you make a Python script, it's a text file. You add the statements, the program, whatever you want to add in Python, and you save it as a .py. extension, and then you have to run it. You can run it from the command line in Linux, but you still have to use the Python interpreter, and you type at the command line interface Python, let's say 3 or 2. I can't remember exactly, but you type Python space and you type your Python script, the .py with the extension .py, and you hit enter and it will run it. You can run it from the command line. But the bash script, you can run it on Linux as a text file. You can make a text file and save it. And you can run it from the command line without getting into Python, But Python, it's got its own tools for text editing, filtering. It's got so many libraries. I haven't gotten into it yet. I'm just reading about it, but I'm waiting until I'm done with learning JavaScript because I need to learn JavaScript before I jump to Python. But Python, what's great about it, it's English-like. It's easier, but it's not. Well, I don't think it's easier than JavaScript. They say it's too easy. I mean, you can read. It's like English, right? But once you start, creating the programs, it's not gonna be easy. Still, it's a programming language. You have to learn it. There's a lot of requirement, but it's got so many libraries. Python, it's got so many libraries, like scientific libraries, math libraries, and other libraries, because they say if you are a data scientist or even in any field, you can use Python. It's got so many tools for data manipulation and calculation. That's what I'm trying to get at. Manipulation of data and calculation. Python is great, it's got so many. And you can run it from Linux. It comes bundled with Linux, and you can upgrade it all the time. From the command line interface. I have Python 3 now, and once you install it, you can enter Python, and you access the Python interpreter from the Linux commands. The Python interpreter, it's the command line interface for Python, for running a Python statements. So basically, you go to the command line interface in Linux, you type a Python, the command Python will take you to the command line interface of the Python interpreter, where you can type statement Python, but you do one at a time, I think. I'm not sure how many you can run at the same time. But if you want to create a script, Python script with .py, this is the best. You can add a program in it. You can decide what you want to do, so many things. And you can let the system run it for you, Python / such and such, so. Data analyst, yes. Data analyst too, yes. Yeah. Python file name. Python file name, it has to end with .py. That's the extension for a Python program, Python script, py. But on on a previous live stream, somebody proposed that you don't have to use .py. There's another way to use in your script. You can type on the top a line. I can't remember what it is, like maybe exclamation mark, then the the hashtag, and then py, and this line will get you rid of the extension py, but I can't remember it exactly, but somebody mentioned on the last you know Python file name. Yeah, the Python file name, you can name, there must be a naming convention for it, but it has to be .py. Anybody else have a question, comment, topics about Linux commands? So, anyone else? Guys, thank you so much for joining this live stream. Thank you for tuning in. Whether you're on this live stream or you're going to be tuning in the future, I want to thank you and I appreciate it. And I want to ask you to subscribe if you like this kind of content and you're interested in these topics and the way I explain. Subscribe, but obviously I'm not gonna be able to force you because you may not like what I have or what I'm doing. But if you like it, you're interested in more, I'm here to help you. I want to grow my channel. I need you to join, to subscribe, and in return, I'll make more videos and to help you and help each other share. We can share facts and information that myself I don't know. I don't know everything, obviously. So anybody else? Questions, comments? Okay, guys. Let's see. It looks like we've been going over an hour, like 1 hour and a half. So I don't see any more questions coming in, and I don't have anything else to add right now. I have to prepare for other topics. And if you have any questions and you're still on this live stream, I can hang out for a couple more minutes. Marcelo Acosta, I have to learn a lot about bash scripting. I will keep in mind your chat. Yes, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I hope you joined, you subscribed. Yes, yeah, we can talk about the bash scripting at one point. We can do that. Those are easy. I can make one and I can run it by you guys to show you how it works and how it looks like. It can be simple, it can be complicated. It's like a programming. You get into programming now once you do bash script, but it can be simple. So it's a way to automate your process, and we can talk about it. Bash scripting, yes, we can talk about that. So anybody else? Any other questions before we wrap up the session? Because we've been going for 1 hour and Gucci Flamingo wanna be my lawyer? Why I wanna be your lawyer? I'm not a lawyer. I am an engineer. I am in the telecom industry. So who else? Thank you for joining, guys. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Gucci Flamingo, do you have any questions about Linux, running Linux commands, so I can answer you before we wrap up the session? That's all do. I got 3 DUIs. No, sorry. Okay, no problem. That's fine. No problem if you don't have any questions or. Make sure you subscribe if you're interested in this kind of topics that we're talking about. On this channel, I talk about Linux commands, Linux operating system, Visual Studio Code to make HTML, CSS codes, setting up websites, simple ones. We talk about web hosting, domain names, Inkscape for making vector graphics, GIMP for raster imaging, and other similar topics or close to it related. So it was mandatory learning Linux previous to take my CCNA certification exam. It was mandatory learning Linux previous to take my oh, it was, yeah. I mean, if you CCNA, basically you're getting into the networking of computers and switches and routers. That's all Linux-based commands. They're not exactly Linux, but they're very similar. But it looks like Cisco, what they did, they have their own proprietary commands. I think that's what they do, because if you try to run the same commands from Linux to Cisco, some of them don't run. Most of, like, the IP address stuff, it doesn't run. Some of them, but I mean, some are the same. Like, let's say a ping. If you want to ping a host or ping an IP address, that will work everywhere on on machines, on computers, and every system, the ping. But if you want to use the IP address, like on Cisco machines, is different from Linux. Linux, if you type IP address, it will give you the IP address of your machine, but that one does not work. So yes, exactly. Just it's the iOS. Yes, their operating system. Yeah, yeah. Is Unix. Yes, it is Unix-like, yeah, because when you start typing, I mean, come to think of it, going back, Linux, first there was Unix. I mean, even though Unix-like, yes, even though they say Linux is totally different from Unix, it's not Unix, but a lot of commands are the same, and I think they used a lot. Both are written in C language, and I think they used a lot from Unix, but they say Linux is separate. Okay, it's separate, so everything else was built on those. I think even all the industry, they start building based on Linux commands and Unix likes command, but they had to make changes to the commands, So that's what happened. I think that's what happened. I'm not 100% sure, but when you look at both commands, there's a lot of similarities. That's why that comes to my mind. Anybody else? Questions, comments, topics, proposal about topics I can make in the future. Okay, anybody else have a question before I wrap up this session? Okay, I want to thank you so much, guys, on this for joining. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being on this live stream. Thank you for your for chiming in, for your ideas, for questions, answers. I do appreciate that. That's helpful for every one of us, And I hope we'll do another one, hopefully tomorrow or the day after. But I intend to make more of those, So to help people and help myself grow the channel, And I need your help too. So. Okay, guys, have a great evening or a great day. It depends where you are, and I hope to see you in the next live or next video. Hopefully tomorrow or the day after we'll do another one, and I have to think about the topic I want to cover, and hopefully you'll get a notification if you hit the notification button. So welcome, Muhtasib Shizar. Thank you for joining. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Muhtasib. Okay, Muhtasib Shizad. Okay, Sherzad. Muhtasib Sherzad. Welcome. Thank you for joining. How can I help you? Do you have any questions about Linux or Linux commands, how to run them, or what computer to set up a terminal? We're talking about Linux, how to set up Linux on your computer, or if you have it, what command to use, how to use the command line interface, what are the benefits of using Linux commands. We're talking about, that's the topics of our video or subject today. So, okay, guys, it's been over 1 hour and a half. We can wrap it up, and even if you have more questions, submit them in the comment. I'll get a notification. I will still answer you later on if you're even if you're on the future video. If you see it, if you get a notification in the future, and I can, if you are on a replay, that's what I want to say. If you are on a future replay and you have a question, I should get a notification, and I can help you. With that said, I want to thank you so much. Have a great evening and a great day. It depends where you are. And I will see you in the next video. But make sure you subscribe and you hit the notification button so you can get notified whenever I go online or live or I upload a video. Thank you so much.